Stop being exploited. 4 ways to stand up to high conflict or disagreeable people. Right now, here we go. Hey, I'm Rebecca Zung, and I am a high conflict resolution attorney, and I'm here to help you stop being exploited in this video. I know you feel used, you feel abused, you feel beaten up. I've been exactly where you are, especially if you're dealing with narcissists. You're dealing with people who are just all over you all the time, whether it's your boss, whether it's your husband, your ex-spouse, the co-parent of your child, whoever it is, you feel like it's not fair, right? And I want to give you some ways to stop feeling like it's not fair. You stop feeling like it's a victim. Turn it around for once and for all. Don't go away, because by the end of this video, you're going to have 4 ways to stop feeling used and abused. I've helped many, many people through it, and I want to help you too. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, and make sure you subscribe to this channel because we release brand new videos every single day. And I am the author of the best-selling book, Slay the Bully: How to Negotiate with a Narcissist and Win. Definitely welcome you to check that out as well. You're dealing with disagreeable people. You're dealing with high conflict people. The first thing that I want you to do is set a boundary. Set those boundaries. I say step 1, don't run. Step 2, make a U-turn. Step 3, break free. I talk about that all the time in my SLAY method, right? Sometimes it can feel really, really overwhelming when you're dealing with a high conflict person, when you're dealing with a difficult person, when you're dealing with a person who's in your face. There's no way that you can stop all that triggering and stop all of that fear if you don't start with setting boundaries. And sometimes that very first boundary that you're going to set is just going to be, I'm not allowing you to speak disrespectfully anymore. That's a boundary. So sometimes if you're still living in the same house, whether it's a family member, it could be your mom, it could be your sister, it could be who the hell ever. It's never okay for a person to speak disrespectfully to you. And no, you don't need to stay in the same room. And no, you don't need to stay in the same conversation if they're yelling and screaming at you. You can just say, I can see that you're upset. I can see that you're angry. Start looking at somebody as if they're an 8-year-old, as if they're an 8-year-old having a tantrum on the floor. Just start not taking it personally. I would say put an invisible Teflon down around you and then just start observing them. Observe, don't absorb. And that's basically what you're going to be doing. You can start to react with curiosity instead of anger. So you can start to say, oh, that's interesting. Why would you say that? Oh, that's interesting. Why would you think that? Boundaries. One of the things that you can think about is what is negotiable. What's negotiable are contracts and issues and terms. What's never negotiable is your self-esteem, your self-worth, who you are as a human being. That first thing you're going to do is to stand up to that high conflict person, that toxic person, that disagreeable person, is setting that boundary. I just had this conversation with my daughter who's in college, and she was saying to me that she feels really good about herself now. And if anybody mistreats her, she knows who she is, and she is no longer in the conversation. She does not allow people to mistreat her. Boundaries are your invisible shield, protecting yourself from being taken advantage of. It's about clearly defining what you will and won't tolerate in your interactions. That's the first thing, setting that boundary. Number 2 is having effective communication, letting people know what you will and will not tolerate. That's really, really important too. It's crucial to Clearly express your thoughts and feelings assertively. If somebody cancels plans on you at the last minute, you can say something like, I value our time together, but you know what? These last minute cancellations, they're frustrating for me and they don't work for me because it clearly says that you don't value my time. And so, can we find a way to make plans that work for both of us, right? This opens up a dialogue and addresses the issue constructively so that you don't feel like you're being used and you don't feel like this person took advantage of your time together. And I used to have a friend who would answer the phone and be like, oh, I can't talk right now, and just hang up. And I'd be like, why did you answer the phone? Just to hang up on me? Why do you need somebody like that in your life? Let the phone go to voicemail. Why would you allow somebody to be disrespectful to you? You don't need that. You want to have somebody who is going to be respectful to you and also respectful of your time. Be able to communicate effectively and just say, this isn't working for me. This approach is not working for me. And this situation isn't working for me. And be okay with that and say, I appreciate your input. I appreciate your feedback. And, I'm confident that in my own abilities as well. Just be calm. You don't need to be emotional. You don't need to be defensive. I always say never jade, never justify, argue, defend, or explain. You don't ever want to get into those situations, but you also want to express yourself. I mean, if you've ever had to deal with a difficult person or a toxic person, you know what I'm talking about. If this is resonating with you so far, give me an amen in the comments below. And I want to know if any of this is working for you so far, resonating for you so far, and if you're going to try any of this so far. If you want phrases for disarming narcissists, go to disarmthenarc.com and get my free phrases for disarming narcissists. They will definitely help you as well in your emails, in your text messages, in your conversations also. The next thing is going to be self-care. You need to have self-care. Self-care for coping with narcissists, self-care for dealing with them, whether you're dealing with disagreeable people, whether you're dealing with a toxic person, whether it's just a person who's, not nice, you still have to be taking care of your own emotional well-being, right? Self-care is the key to maintaining your resilience, your strength. Think about a time where you were in a high stress situation with a narcissistic boss. Self-care means taking breaks. It means practicing relaxation techniques. It means seeking emotional support from a friend, from a therapist. It means helping you stay emotionally resilient and not letting the stress consume you. If you're in a personal relationship, self-care means setting aside time for hobbies or activities that bring you joy, even if that other person, that disagreeable person, doesn't necessarily like it, doesn't necessarily approve of it. It reinforces your independence and reminds you of your self-worth. The fourth one is having a resolution focused approach. So sometimes that means doing what I call fluff or favor, vomit later, where you're fluffing up their ego to give them a little something of what they want so that you can get a little something of what you want in return. Can you resolve the QuickBooks this month? You're so much better at it than I would be, and it'll get done so much faster, something like that, because then they feel like, oh, I'm a big man, whatever. And don't make sure you don't say anything good about yourself because they don't want to hear about that. That way they get something that they want, which is adulation. They get their ego boosted. And that way, when it comes time to negotiating down the road or doing something that you want down the road, you've stored up, that ego boost or whatever. I call it ethically manipulating the manipulator. Or the other thing that you can do is focus on areas that you might agree first so that you can work toward those areas of disagreement if you're starting in a mediation or something like that. Because then by the time you get to those areas of disagreement, a lot of times you're like, oh, we've covered so much ground. Why would we want to undo all of the good things that we've already done? So a resolution focused approach, or how can we come to an agreement? How can we do this rather than you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, or stating things like this approach is not working for me instead of focusing on the other person, because the other person, especially if you're dealing with a high conflict personality, is not going to take so kindly to them being attacked. So certainly in a family law type of dispute where the emotions are high, where everybody's always highly triggered anyway, you definitely want to focus on let's work together, let's find a solution. I know we're all very interested in working on a solution, especially for the children, things like that, especially when you're playing up to their ego. In a professional setting, if you're working with a disagreeable colleague, you say things like, I believe that we can work on this together. I believe that we can find a resolution that will achieve all of our goals. Can we discuss a way to do that? Emphasize teamwork, emphasize cooperation. It will go a long way if you can do that. So there you have it. 4 ways to stand up to disagreeable people. Make sure you're always standing in your power, standing in who you are. Don't be defensive. Stay on the offensive. Stay looking like you know who you are. Confident. The more that you can do that, the more that you will go a long way with getting more of what it is that you want. That's why the next video that I want you to watch is 4 magic phrases to respond to anyone in any situation. So that's the next video that I definitely want you to watch. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like it, make sure you share it, make sure that you have subscribed here to this video. And remember that today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. You can stand up to anybody, you can be anybody that you want because you are amazing. All right, I'll see you in that next video. That's the sound of customers rushing to your store. Do you have a point of sale system that you can trust, or is it a POS? Do you need a Shopify store for your retail? Shopify helps you be that command center for your retail store. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify has everything you need to sell as if you're in person. With Shopify, you get that powerhouse selling partner that effortlessly unites your in person and online sales into one source. Track every sale across your business in one place and know exactly what's in stock. I use it myself. Connect with customers in line and online, just like I do. Shopify helps you drive your store traffic with plug and play tools built from marketing to TikTok to Instagram and beyond. Get hardware that fits your business, and you take your payments by smartphone and transform your tablet into a point of sale system. Or use Shopify's POS Go Mobile for a battle tested solution. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there for you. They have a support system that's there to help you, there to help your customers every step of the way. So do retail right with Shopify. Sign up for $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/best life, all lowercase, and go to shopify.com best life to take your retail business to the next level today. Shopify.com/best life.